Good day, everyone. I do hope that the day was treating you well and you found happiness. Before I start the video, I would like to introduce some new ideas and new thoughts. I've been slowly purchasing items to increase the quality of these videos. I've been trying to set a schedule of my life where I can adapt more time into this, because though the video quality and such is not the best, I will be improving that over time. I get great joy out of this, and I do hope in the future many people will be able to comment, kind of help drive the idea of things we wish to discuss. Now, this video will be truly getting into the concept of social responsibility and personal responsibility. Today I set up the TV, hopefully it works and you'll be able to see some of the information I provide. Of course, everything will be will be down and below so you can find these sites. Now, my handy dandy notebook here. So, to start, personal responsibility. I'm going to reference the article from the heritage.org, currently stating the article is down, but I do hope it goes up because this article was really well put together. Now, within the beginning of the article, one thing I would like to point forward is the idea that personal responsibility is slowly deteriorating, much like the idea of religion. And what I mean by this is we usually have something ahead of us, we believe, to mount the idea of personal responsibility. This determination of being above us usually gave us fear, and the idea that there is something above us fear is a terrible word, but to keep in mind that where you go will be dictated by your lively actions on Earth. This concept itself has been breaking down for a few generations now with the concept of social media, and what it brings forth is a slow deterioration in the concept of personal responsibility. Now, look at my notes here. How to put it is personal responsibility and determination, I do believe, is the best way to look at this. This is kind of fresh to me, and I'm still trying to get the whole concept down. Please bear in mind that this is still my third video, so I'm trying to get this. So, kindness would be appreciated. Personal responsibility and determination. So when we look at this from the Heritage article, what this brings forth is the idea that if you are going to do something, and your actions in your life, whether it be immediate or not, nothing could have happened without your involvement in this scenario. The determination of events is bound to your personal responsibility. This is a big one I think that people are missing out on. So what I wish to engage in your mind is the idea that every day we take actions. Every day we take opportunities, and every day we hope to grow more. One thing I think I've noticed in society is we no longer see the outcome for others within these actions. Just because you succeed, how many had to fail before you? Now, granted, their personal responsibility should be to succeed, but if we are going to denounce empathy and responsibility, then how can we ever truly succeed as a species? We'd be willing to sacrifice the few, well, truly, the many, for the success of the few. Now, that seems a little bit of a dick move. Mind the language and all, but the phallic member that hangs from the front of the male human species. Well, let's just say that you often feel like you're getting the teabagging of a lifetime sometimes when you watch others succeed, and the determination of success does not value you in any way. Now, this is kind of contradicting the concept of personal responsibility and why it matters so much. One person cannot be responsible for the life of another adult. That is beyond my understanding. Now, when it comes to relationships as well, before we get into another article, this is a personal opinion of my own. Humanity is not ready for any type of relationship in the current generation of men. What I mean is, nobody knows what it means to have responsibility for oneself when your oneself is inherently aligned with another person in your life. I don't have a relationship. I would never have one in this modern day and age. I've tried, and it has failed. So, oh, mic fell out, my friends. Get that back in there. But, so what this, I find this does is people get in relationships to help lessen the responsibility within their own life. If they have somebody close to them, they can use that human essence as an excuse to their personal failures when they said, oh, I just needed more help. I'm sorry, sweetheart, or dude, whoever it is, that's your personal responsibility to maintain your own life. By not doing so, you're denouncing any self-worth and value. We need to understand that personal determination can help with confidence. The last page of these small notes on the Heritage website to note that life is expecting certain things to happen. A lot of people in these younger generation, even my generation itself, which is not young to say, is starting to, the best way to put it, responsibility falls on their minds much like the children. And that's exactly why grandparents are raising the young these days. It's the best way I can put it. Now, to be relevant to these other articles, I do have a TV on this one behind here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Because it'd be impossible for me to even try to get around. Now, where did that go? There it is. Okay, so one thing we're going to take a peek at here is this one. So, if we're going to look at the ethical principles and accountability, this article, I will quickly break it down, but I do encourage you to see it. This also will be tagged at the bottom. Do we have an advancing set of ethics that will match the required amount of personal responsibility? The online world itself has now come across as an easy way to facilitate a random existence. And with that random existence, there is no set of responsibilities dictated to the digital life. This is kind of concerning in the aspect these younger generations, as I have experienced, the younger generations are going to say the ages of 12 to 14. They interact with them, family, if you will. I try to listen to them and understand the world that they are living in these days, because with each generation we have to accept that the world itself changes quite a bit. These children, if you will, have expressed to me that they don't have confidence within themselves. The most confidence they form was within the online community through these faux creations of their characters. Granted, I do like to game myself, and gaming for me is quite the stress relief. I try not to bring forth the hostility I use in my games to, per se, reference that in my real life. Mic drop. So, when these children come to me and they feel this way, I try to interact with them through their media. I understand that gaming and things like that is a major part of their life, so I try to show them what the games can be to them. Being young at heart, they have found that they wish to create. I do support this, and they need to have personal responsibility to create. If they don't choose to dedicate themselves to a life outside of the social media, I do fear that accountability with physical interactions will go downhill quickly, and we will see a social destruction, if you will, of interaction between physical form. And that's kind of worrisome, because frustration will leak into madness quite quickly if we don't have a strong set of ethics and personal responsibility and how to deal with others. Interaction and your responsibility of how you act within your own actions when interacting with others, that was awful, is going to be interesting in the years to come. I hold no negativity towards these young ones. They're starting to live their life. And it could be generational aspects and views that have led me to this conclusion. But I do think there is something different with the social media. I understand TV, radio, they have their effects on that generation. But not every individual has the ability to create a persona within that media. That's what's going to start terrifying me. And I do hope humanity steps forth and brings forward more stringent concepts of personal responsibility when it comes to these forums. Now, the next article I do wish to bring up with you, if you give me one moment. This article, what it will be having to do with, if I can get it to come down, and it's going to be dealing with, yes, this one. Give me a second here. Now, this one will be noted in the bottom as well. This one is taking the responsibility, obviously, of your own life and happiness. However, when it comes to that, like mentioned before, trying to find personal responsibility in your significant other is a fallacy. Even in your children, if you say your children make you happy, I think you're putting too much of a burden on your child. Your child is incredibly smart, and they will recognize that they are what make you happy, and that will become their job in life, and you are stripping the child's life away from them by making them the source of your happiness. So let's not be a useless twat and do that to the kids, man. Kids, they don't need that responsibility, and it's being imposed on them without question and without any concern for the mental well-being of the children these days. Stating in the article itself, short form, is how much personal responsibility do you have in your life? In the article, this is a beautiful notion. Architects back in Rome, when they used to build archways, to test them and to say they have faith in their work and they're taking responsibility for the outcome of their work, they would stand under that archway, look up while the supports were removed from the scaffolding, knowing that if this archway fails, this architect will die. Granted, that's a bit extreme concept of what personal responsibility is these days, but I hope you understand why I think that is wonderful. What if we gave those same dictations to somebody's words upon the internet these days? You may perceive yourself to be a certain thing, but would you stand underneath those words if you knew that it was holding rocks above you? And if those words fail, you die? Would you be willing to stand by the words of your heart and your compassion within your being, knowing those words held up stones that would kill you? Tragically, I do think a lot of the answers for that is no. And what kind of world are we living in when the very essence of the man and the woman on the insides is as shallow as a sheet of paper? This is... I do hope that this brings thoughts to you, and maybe you can see within yourself where you can find these agreements. I do. Like I always say, I am far from a perfect individual, and I'm far from perfecting these concepts, but I do try to make these better for myself every day of the week. Whether it's getting up in the morning and simply making my bed and maybe going out and do something a little extra. Maybe it's recognizing that if I could do something a little better, or if I can improve the quality of the work I produce, it can grossly, and I mean that word as a large amount, it could hugely affect the outcome of much like these videos. This is only my third video, and I do feel like I'm trying to improve the quality, the interaction, and the citing of sources. So I will look forward to the future of producing more of these. Just sitting here talking to you myself. This is awesome. This is amazing. Like I said before, I got some issues. There's some chunks of me that are missing on the inside that are fairly important, and I don't know how to discuss them. And I wish to learn and grow with you. So, on the next topic of conversation, like this says here, it's going to be the benefits of personal responsibility. Making a quick note of this website that I looked at before. You don't have freedom from the burdens of life unless you do honestly take a strong stance of personal responsibility. I like going to bed every night and not worrying about the things that I procrastinated about. Not worrying about the things that I had left behind that should have been done this day. So, I do think, yes, procrastination is the best word you can for it, is a sickness that has infected many. We treat jobs as a nuisance, it seems, where they should be taken with pride and dignity. I know when I go to do what I do for a living, every step of the way I try to make sure the customer's happy, I'm happy, and the word is far beyond any kind of, the word of my job and how well it was done will far surpass any social media value in showing my name is valuable. And because of this, networking has been a huge advantage for me. I'm still trying to figure out how to network online, and frankly, having only 3 videos, nose is itchy. I'm totally going to scratch it right through here too, right? Oh, sure, that helped. But anyway, to be available in networking fashion and words of golden is greater than any commercial or radio commercial I can imagine, because it's not fake. You must realize by now commercials on the radio, TV, and everything are about as real as the fact that every time I touch something, it turns to gold. I wouldn't be living where I'm living if that was the case, I'll tell you that now. If I had the Midas touch, no, that'd be terrible, because there'd be certain aspects of my personal responsibility that would be tarnished. And we don't want that. So, continue. Like I said, you don't have freedom without taking a good, strong stance of personal responsibility. Because even if it isn't something that relies on another human being that you're looking for, you're cursing yourself to the lack of success in your life if you don't take a strong stance. Now, this is getting a little long, but I do enjoy this style, so I'm hoping that what's going to happen is all the videos will be about this length. So, 2 last things I'll request for you to see from this article. Trust and respect from other people, and fewer negative emotions. These 2, I think, are one of the more important things that we're going to have to deal with when it comes to personal responsibility. Sorry, that was kind of a broken sentence. So when we come along to the concept that how's the word to put this? If you want respect from somebody else, you have to prove that you're respectable. I don't understand why people think that they're owed respect. They're not. I will give you decency. I will give you the decency of day. I don't know if that's what you're saying or not, but what that means is I will not inherently treat you negatively if you do not inherently treat me negatively. And I don't see that as respect. I see that as basic human interaction. You come at me like an asshole, so I'm sorry I'm going to come at you like an asshole. It's life. However, for me to gain respect for you, we must form a relationship of common kinship. Whether that's us working together for a period of time, whether it's us doing favors for each other over a large period of time, without having any kind of condition to the kindness, I would start to respect you. There's people I've been willing to, who are not family, I'm willing to give my organs to if they need them. Whether it shortens my life or not, it doesn't matter. Why? Because they have shown me great personal responsibility that has greatly affected my life and improved it. The very house above my head that I love dearly and I will do anything for was formed out of kinship. I have a home because I decided to take personal responsibility, and my home is amazing. And the last topic I think we'll talk about for this is going to be less negative emotions. So, quick point, and kind of give a bit of an example here. I have this lovely kitten. Mateo, coming up. Can't see her, but she is down here at my feet. I am trying to pet her with my toesies. She is appreciating it. I owe her personal responsibility. She is an animal, as far as we understand, that don't have the complex abilities that we do as humans. Yet we should cherish them as if they were beyond what we are, because I do believe they are. When I feed her, and she purrs to me, and she loves me, I know the responsibility I have taken has shown that she loves me. And that feels really good. If you were not to feed your animals, they would starve and they would have hatred towards you. Why would they show any compassion if you can't show compassion to them? And then you learn to hate yourself because life is no longer adequate for you. So I do hope these articles here and these few personal thoughts of my own do bring forth more of a clear idea of personal responsibility and where I'm coming from. I may bring more focus to this topic in more detailed fashion later on, but I think this topic should be done for now. The next one. I do believe I want to get into healthcare. So what I'm going to be doing now is every second day. Now, that may be a little bit much now because I'm still not fully into this yet. I'm trying to understand how to do this with editing and everything else. So, what I might do is say is every weekend and every Wednesday, I'll have a video. So I'll have 2 on the weekends. They will be more lighthearted videos, and the one on Wednesday night. I do believe I'll take a serious notion with very serious points and concept I do wish to change in the world. Being one entity, I don't think I'll be able to do much, but I do what I can. There's people in the world who are less inclined to strive for personal growth, yet they seem to get it with ease. And there's also people in the world who struggle every day for personal growth, and they have a hard time. And I think that has to do with personal responsibility. There's always a lot more brought into this, and I think one of the biggest things I do need to bring forward is the idea of money, things like that. It downses personal responsibility, and that's a shame. That could be quite possibly for a better and more directed video about that aspect when it comes to personal responsibility and how money seems to take away the need for it. But I do wish upon you to have a great night. I do wish upon you that your mind challenges things. It brings forth greater options for you and greater ability for you to explore the world and what it is. It's a beautiful thing. Let's not give up on it. Take care.